Welcome to the Perennial Gardens at Elizabeth Park. This self-guided tour is brought to you by Hello Parkville and the City of Hartford. The Perennial Garden at Elizabeth Park in Hartford, Connecticut was planted in 1985 with funds from the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving. A. Frederick McGurty, nationally famous perennial garden expert of Hillside Gardens in Norfolk, redesigned and planted it. Consultant Mark Tonin rejuvenates the garden each spring. The garden is arranged around the wooden pavilion across the street from the famous Rose Garden and consists of approximately 225 perennial plants in 10 beds. An evergreen yew hedge surrounds it, punctuated by openings so visitors can enter, walk around the beds, or relax on the benches. A little bit about perennial plants. A perennial plant, or simply perennial, is a plant that lives for more than 2 years. The term is often used to differentiate a plant from shorter-lived plants like annuals or biennials. The term is also widely used to distinguish plants with little or no woody growth from trees and shrubs, which are also technically perennials. But what's in a name, and what's with all the Latin? This is a Stilbe White Gloria, but it's also known as false goat's beard. Now that you think about it and look at it, we can get the idea behind why they named it false goat's beard. This is Clematis jackmanii. Clematis is the genus. Jackmanii is the species or cultivar, and in this case, the breeder was George Jackman, ergo Jackmanii. That makes sense, but why Latin? Well, Latin names are used as a means of classifying or identifying specific plants. Unlike its common name, of which there are several, the Latin name is for a plant unique to each plant. Scientific Latin plant names help describe both the genus and species of a plant in order to better categorize them. You'll notice from time to time that there are gaps or non-blooming plants in the perennial bed. Even though each plant has its own common bloom time, there are many factors that affect when perennial flowers will appear. These include seasonal issues, because every season is different, age of the plants, because more mature plants tend to put out more blooms over a longer period of time, culture, extended bloom times, and even the difference between varieties. It was the genius of Mr. McGurty that he was able to design a garden that blooms from April right into November. Because perennials bloom only an average of 3 weeks, proper timing is important to have color throughout the growing season. It was Fred McGurty who said, "Perennials remind me of old friends, visiting at certain times, providing an ever-changing kaleidoscope of color." As Fred McGurty explained back in 1985, a collection of plants does not a garden make. The true meaning of a garden involves different forms, textures, and colors working together. We hope you enjoyed our short tour of the Perennial Gardens at Elizabeth Park. Please look for signs and use the app to explore all the gardens of Elizabeth Park. Thank you for downloading the Hello Parkville app. We'd like to encourage you to support Elizabeth Park. Please consider a donation or volunteering your time. For more information, go to elizabethparkct.org. The Hello Parkville app is brought to you by the City of Hartford. For more information, visit helloparkville.com.